Oh, now we lost our host.
Douglas.
Got to edit myself back in. Oops.
You gotta do things in order, man. I get it.
No, I'm out of practice. And
I have a new category for bingo.
What's that?
When Ron talks about people's facial hair.
That's a good one. That's
Are
a
you
good one.
going to get after our guest right away?
Yep. I had a conversation with Doug earlier. He goes, "You know Zach, don't you?" I go, "Pretty sure I met Zach." And I said, "You got a beard, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "I said, yeah, it looks like a beard that ain't really came in all the way, but he'd let it grow long enough to work." And he goes, No, this is a beard. I mean, like a Grizzly Adams beard. I go, "Then I don't know that, Zach."
Well, the one time we ran into each other was Pheasant Fest, and I didn't have a beard. So
You had something.
they do say that dogs look like their owners, and we can tell that you have a grip.
No,
Or
didn't you have
drop.
something started, or where did I see you?
I had a big old mustache at Pheasant Fest. I was feeling saucy, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Were you growing it back in Kansas City though again, or no? Or were you,
What do you mean?
well, did I see you in Kansas City?
No. Well, I was around in Kansas City, but I don't think we ran into each other.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I
They
was
didn't put him in front of the kids.
All you young kids are wrong anyway. You need to call me, okay? When you're deciding to venture into the world of cultivating on your face what grows wild on your arse, talk to me.
This coming from the guy who's working on the Christopher Walken do as we speak. So
Yeah.
I'm like, Mao!
you need to get after yourself with the dog clippers, Ron, just like I did.
I'm cranked up today, guys. Go ahead.
Have you had your nap yet?
About 15-minute one during the news, yeah.
Oh, nice.
You are turning into everybody's uncle.
Well, Ron,
Take it away from here. This is the first hour. We got to be serious.
Sort of.
Yeah, well, we talked before we turned on, before we actually went on, and Zach has to get all the gun handling out of the way in the first hour. That way he can start drinking with us in the second hour.
Yeah, it just seems responsible to not touch anything, you know.
Very true.
we wouldn't tell anybody.
It's not like we're live.
No.
Yeah, it's not getting recorded to any kind of a platform or anything like that where it'll
There's
be
not
living forever, is it?
1,000 people watching it.
Where are we live today, Doug? What are we on?
So tonight we are streaming on the Hunters Happy Hour YouTube, and for the first time we are on the Project Upland Facebook page.
Nice.
So if you are watching on Project Upland, make sure that at some point you're clicking over to the Facebook, or sorry, the YouTube, and giving us a thumbs up and a subscribe.
Yep.
Started right.
I should post that in there, huh?
Yeah, post that in there somewhere, would you? Do something with your life.
Do something. But I've talked, so everybody has squares that need to be filled.
You got a point.
I've hit my quota. I'm a little squirrely on Tuesdays.
It's early in the week, man. Everybody feels a little squirrely on
Yeah.
Tuesdays. That's why Ron's all wound up.
Yeah, I've been sober for 2 days.
What? Good Lord. Since Father's Day? What happened on Father's Day?
Not much. So I figured the way you're at the gym and posting all those pictures, if my face is fatter than your face in August, I ain't having that. So I gotta stay under the curve.
Yeah, I didn't think Miller Lite had any calories anyways. I was always told that water was calorie free.
It adds up in my ankles a little bit, but go ahead.
Fair enough. I actually can't talk at all. I'm so embarrassed to even show what I'm drinking right now, Ron. You're gonna give me so much shit.
We already made him do it once.
Is it out of the candle jar?
No, but well, it could be. Look at that baby right there.
Let's have a nice time tonight.
It's so warm outside. I needed something nice and refreshing, and it was the only thing I could come up with.
Here.
Are you peeing? Ron!
All right.
Nick, why don't you tell everybody about our guest?
Should I introduce him, you think?
You should. I think it's about time.
Probably should. Yeah.
All right. Well, we promoted it a little bit here, but we are joined by our second in a few weeks, second guest here from CZ USA. We're very excited to have Mr. Zach Hein, Marketing and Communications Manager of CZ USA on the show today to talk about a little collaboration project between CZ USA and Project Upland. And I think most folks that are watching and listening to this are going to be interested in it. So, Zach, welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thanks for joining us, man.
I mean, the collaboration is really with the Project Upland community and all the communities that you guys are bringing as well. I mean, yeah, it's everybody who's into this Upland game and wants to kind of have a hand in creating this series of shotguns. So yeah.
So what does a CZ USA marketing and communications manager do to stay busy every day? And we'll cover that a little bit before we dive into the fun stuff. Oh
man, it's you think it's all fun, but
I mean, all I see are pictures of you hunting with Project Upland film cameras and stuff.
Well, every once in a while you get lucky, but it's an office job. But luckily I get to take the guns out and get the dogs out and do all sorts of stuff when I get time.
In most people's office, if you bring that many guns to work, you will get fired. So
you're working in the wrong place.
If you're going to have an office job, the one that you got isn't so bad. If Doug showed up with a whole rack of shotguns at a Verizon conference, he probably wouldn't be invited back.
If I showed up with a BB gun at a Verizon conference, I'd be escorted out.
A gun shirt. Yeah.
So what are you going to do to upstage David when he was on here? He was shooting clays, looking over his shoulder, watching it on computer screen. So I mean, we're gonna have to see something from you here.
Man has to know his limitations. I know I can't beat David any of that. So I'm just gonna.
I can. He's not here. I'll say it. I got that guy.
No, he's impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got a lot of shells under his belt. He's a heck of a shooter, heck of a teacher. So
yeah, for sure.
He's a very good instructor.
And before we get too far, I do want to let you know. So on the right hand side, if you want to keep up with all the shenanigans going in the live comments, there's a spot for you to click on, and you can see all these degenerates leaving comments and asking questions. Mm-hmm. We ignore most of them, but it's all good.
We got one White Claw mention already. That'll be the first of many, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I only got one out here, so after that I'll actually switch to a real beer. But it's just it's so hot in my garage, and my beer wasn't like 100% cold. I didn't feel like any whiskey. So yeah,
I'm disappointed that you even brought one into your home.
I can't help it, man. A million white trash women out there can't be wrong. All right. Like, I was born in a trailer park, damn it, and I'll die in one.
I thought White Claw was kind of a hipster drink. I'm surprised I'm not drinking one myself.
Right.
It's a 14-year-old girl drink.
Oh, okay.
It's the first one you start when you're underage drinker. You drink that one.
Yeah, it was like our Mad Dog 2020.
Next week, show up. I'll have some Mike Starred lemonade or Smirnoff ices.
Does it match the candle though? Is it?
I don't have any candles out here. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, of
Really?
course, I wouldn't have anything like that. I got pheasant feathers.
Yeah.
Pour it into one of the expended candle glass holders. That would be really nice.
I could do that, but you got to be careful how many ice cubes you put into one of those jars because they're just not built real strong. So,
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! I built somebody's already on it. Look at that
survey. Yep, the survey is up and live. We weren't sure. The plan was to have everything up and running when we did this today and put the podcast out earlier today. So it's up and running. Folks can go check out the link. Doug, we'll have you probably post it a few times here. It's basically right at the top of the page on projectupland.com. Zach, do you want to talk a little bit about this project and we'll dive into it a bit?
Sure. Yeah. So it's kind of, asking the internet advice on anything and having the internet help you develop anything is usually not a good idea. Asking them to help name something or I don't know, it usually doesn't work out well.
Bit of a roll of the dice.
Man, but honestly, there's kind of a unique community, especially, popping up in the Facebook groups, popping up around this. Oh, Ron's leaving already.
I broke his
must
spirit.
Be on beer number 2.
I'll be able to hear you.
But we just wanted to kind of take the advice of the audience and figure out what they think with the ideal Upland shotgun is. We have kind of a pretty wide arrangement of guns, a wide array of guns, all different styles and different levels of engraving, all sorts of different features. And we have the ability to do all sorts of stuff. But I mean, the number of production guns we do versus the actual custom guns where we build one to somebody's taste, we could actually take and meld those and try to find guns that work for everybody. Try to find a happy medium, something that kind of on the average is what upland hunters are going to be after, and kind of make it special and theme it around Project Upland, and kind of take the audience's temperature and find out what they like. So if we need a gun that has moderate wood and really nice engraving and offer it in certain gauges, I mean, we kind of want to know that. So yeah, it's a way for us to get feedback, do a really cool project around Project Upland and with the community.
Yeah,
nice.
So I just shared a link to the survey on both Facebook and YouTube if you want to check it out later, not now. Don't leave us.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Everybody can be on their phone and listen to us talk at the same time. It's possible.
It's not like they want to watch us.
Right.
I mean,
we're not a very good looking group.
We definitely have face for radio. That's why we didn't start a TV show we all did podcasts instead.
Yeah. Well, Doug did post a link to the survey there, and we'll talk a little bit about sort of the structure of how this thing's going to work. And then I think what we'll try to do is have Doug screen share, and we'll pull the survey up and we'll walk through it ourselves, and we can all kind of build our own shotgun live, so folks can follow along there. So Zach, you want to talk a little bit about how this whole thing is going to work, and like we kind of said, this is the first time we've ever done something like this, and we think we thought of most things, but I'm sure there are things we haven't thought of, so it's going to be an experiment.
Yeah, I've already got guys asking me for shorter barrels. I'm like, well, but really,
how short? Do they want like 22-inch barrels or something?
26 is an option, so I'll just
26 is short, man.
Yeah, you don't need anything shorter than 26.
I've got a 24 on my Browning.
I got a call from Kevin Murphy. Kevin Murphy was all upset because you couldn't do a 24-inch barrel somewhere in there.
Well, it's because he's down in Kentucky shooting out the window of his pickup.
Exactly. He needs to be able to swing the gun around in the Scout, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And a longer barrel makes two things in your hands really difficult.
Really hard, yeah. When he's rocking those G&Ts going down the prairie trails.
Yeah.
Really what it is it's a survey that's up now. That'll be up for a month, maybe a little bit more than a month, and basically letting people go through and choose their favorite side-by-side, choose their favorite over-under, kind of build it out how they would build it. Yeah. We'll take a look at all the responses and kind of find ways to average things and find ways to package them together and see what's the most popular and try to build 3 that seem like they're the most popular trends from what we're seeing, and then let people vote on those 3. So kind of taking the temperature on each one of these things and finding the things that are most popular and building a set of 3 that people can choose from. And then that'll be up for a little while as a survey also. And after that, it's basically just on our shoulders to get the product development and all the new product development done and get them out hopefully for Pheasant Fest 2021. So
nice. Yeah, perhaps the coolest part of the whole thing, and you're going to go through, like right now, people can go through, fill out the survey, kind of design their ideal upland bird gun. Ultimately, the gun that gets chosen, there's going to be one side by side and one over under. It might not look exactly like the one that you design. That's just kind of the nature of the beast, and that's what we're having to do. But at the end of the day, these are going to be shotguns that CZ is going to produce, manufacture, and sell. So the result of everybody contributing and having fun and participating is actually going to be a legitimate 2 new CZ shotguns that are going to be on the market, which I think is pretty cool.
So is there an ideal price point that this gun is that you're hoping that this gun's going to fall in? Are you just basically going to leave it open that the price will be dictated by what the people want? So it could be a 500 or it could be a 2,000.
Yeah,
we made sure that you could see as you're building the gun, you're seeing what that effect is on the MSRP.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're seeing directly your choices. Yeah, if I want that nice wood, it's going to take that up substantially. So I mean, it just lets you kind of gauge, and this is kind of where the internet can go sideways. Is people might just have fun with it and not actually build a gun that they would buy. Right. What we're hoping is with this community, they actually build a gun they would be interested in.
He must have got
we're going to build it. What's that?
Did you already get my submittal? Is that why you said that?
Yeah. It was absolutely bare bones in every way and 16 gauge with the nicest engraving we have.
Hey, why not? That's a gun that can be built.
And lefty. No, we didn't put lefty in there.
Yeah. And all of them would be left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to make everything go.
Yeah, that'll be successful. Very successful.
I mean, it's 7% of the population. So,
Zach, let me on that subject. Okay. So, and I think most people get an idea, at least the ones who took the survey, but maybe some of the ding dongs and friends of ours that usually tune in and are only half paying attention. It could be something like an English straight stock, but maybe nobody likes double triggers and it would end up with a single trigger, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would be non-traditional when you think of an English straight stock, but it's been done before by other companies. So, but it could also be Prince of Wales or something else that would have the double triggers.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's that kind of mix and match.
Yeah. You're basically picking any feature that we can do, we put in there.
Yeah.
So we've,
What about stock dimensions? It'll probably have an average like most guns, right?
Yep. We're going to put it at our average stock dimensions, which, every company has a different idea of what average is, but
got little short arms like a T-Rex. Barely reached my beer.
But yeah, I think the coolest thing that came out of it is basically seeing all the different engraving options we were going to be able to do. And they're all, all of them are hand engraved. It's all a guy sitting there hand engraving every single one of them. And some of them are, it's going to spend more money out of my pocket because now I realize what we can do. And we do customs. So,
That part actually amazed me that it was hand engraving. I don't know. I made the assumption that it was lasered. Is that the case? Like for the Bob White G2? There's hand engraving on that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
I'll grab one.
Oh, I thought their machine was down and they were going to have to hire a guy.
Nah. So even on a Bob White G2, so this is my 20 gauge. All that engraving is hand done. So,
wow.
It's not a lot on a Bob White.
No, and that's you'd expect that, but that's a $600 gun that you got. It's hand engraving. It's not like it doesn't necessarily improve the function, but I just find that pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's just subtle and kind of tasteful. It's just kind of around the screws and all the little places. Just enough to kind of give you an idea. But it's a $655 gun MSRP. So we can't go overboard. But
how much are those Bob Whites?
For 20 and 12, they're $655.
You're kidding.
That's crazy.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this is a Supreme Field.
Yep.
And so that's
serious engraving there.
So it's different, but it's also got upgraded wood.
Yeah.
So that's
is that grade 3 wood?
That's grade 3. Yeah. Yep.
I got a softball question for and this was this I'm not making this up. When I got home today, I opened up my emails and I was like, and this would, by the date of it, this had nothing to do with your promotion today. It was this morning. And this is from Jordan Coleman. So Jordan, I don't know if you're a regular listener or not. It says, "Hey Ron, curious of your thoughts regarding the CZ USA side-by-side shotguns, especially the Bob White G2, the Sharp Tail models. Have you had a chance to use them in the field?" Which the answer is yes, for a long time. "Are they durable?" Yes, I can answer that. Here's where I wanted some question from Zach. "I didn't know if that double trigger on the Bob White would be more durable than the single trigger with a selector." And I never heard anybody ask that, but is one more problematic even on a minuscule scale if that's his concern?
There is less mechanism going on with the double trigger. It's just there's no transfer going on.
Right. I remember getting stuck a couple times. If you're not really paying attention to the selector lever,
why are there selectors
in the middle?
anyways?
Ooh.
Why are there selectors anyways?
Well,
it doesn't make sense to me.
They want to give you the 2 trigger option of higher low barrel.
There's the one instance.
You just go boom, 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 boom.
I understand, but even if you have a gun with double triggers, I understand that more than having a barrel selector on a 1 trigger gun. just say that the left barrel shoots first and right barrel shoots second. Then you never have to mess with that lever ever again. I don't understand why people would switch it back and forth anyways. It doesn't make any sense.
The trigger selector only comes on a single barrel.
No. Yeah, that's what I mean, though, is that like I can see having the like on a double trigger gun, you can pick and choose which barrel you shoot first, but you're not doing that on a one trigger gun, though, right?
All right, but just picture for two things. You also might do it at the clay range a little bit on doubles, right? You might want to switch over your barrels. Could be. You're practicing.
Yeah.
And depending upon the birds, if you're like, damn, these birds are popping a little quicker, it's an option. At least it doesn't lock you into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that, but
it's not probably used as much as it's an option, I'm guessing.
I got you.
With an over-under, you always want to shoot the bottom barrel first. I mean, that's just kind of, it has less torque on you.
Yeah,
the top barrel is going to have more muzzle rise. So on an over-under, you definitely want to shoot the bottom barrel first. Sure. On a side-by-side, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter one bit.
The only time I would say that being able to have that selector like really, really makes sense. We make a gun called the Reaper Magnum. So it's specifically a turkey gun. So you run a really open choke in one
and a really
tight choke in the other.
Sure.
And you make that decision as the bird comes in. If that bird sticks far out there, you just leave it on the tight choke.
Mm-hmm.
But if that bird comes all the way in, I mean, you've got a wide open choke you can use on it.
Sure. That would make sense.
That's an instance where it really makes sense.
Right.
So, but I totally get the question, especially on a side-by-side.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit guilty of it with a 2-trigger gun. I got one side-by-side that's a 2-trigger gun, and when I'm walking up to a dog on point, in my head I have a range. So I'm on the back trigger, which is a fixed full choke first, and then when I get to a certain range, I'm like, okay, front trigger, and then that you can fall back, but I don't understand the selector. And I've seen so many people who are screwing around with that thing and they end up getting it stuck in the middle and the gun doesn't go off and they're mad. And it's like, just stop messing with it. Put it on one side and never touch it again.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's my rant for tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, there's nothing like coming up on a
the white claw makes you angry.
It does. It turns me into an angry white woman.
You know how people are though, Tyler. The more features, the better, right? Even if it convolutes your life.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Hey, Zach, Doug, there was a question about like a CZ gun repair, I think, up a little ways. Did you grab that one?
Yeah, I was going to see if we wanted to take questions now, or do we want to keep talking about the project?
We'll jump into the gun, but since Mike asked, let's cover this one real quick.
Yeah, so changing out the white plastic bead for a traditional brass, it just depends on what they have in their inventory. An M3.5, like a metric 3.5 is what we use for our beads. So that's, I mean, being able to just knowing that, you should be able to find one really easy. But give them a call at our technical support gunsmiths. If they have your gun already, then just give them a call and see if that's something they have on hand. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It just depends. So.
And that's a really easy change to do at your house too.
Yeah. Yep. It's simple.
Thread it out.
They threaded out. Yeah.
It's a threaded bead. Yep.
All right. Well, what do you guys think? Should we have Doug pull up the survey and walk through it and hem and haw and debate over our own gun?
I think so. I think that'd be fun.
All right, let's do it. Zach and I did it on the podcast that we did, and we ended up. It was one of my longest podcasts ever because we were just going back and forth talking about debating all the little details.
I think how it'll be with the Windy kid over here.
An hour 57. That's like rookie numbers there, Larson. Like, wait till you get into one of like the 3.5 hour ones that you or Ron have done in the past.
I don't have that kind of endurance.
You don't have that kind of a liver either, if you're on, depending on who you're talking to.
No, I don't. All right, so here is the website. If you go to the link that Doug shared earlier, you're going to end up here. The first one is pretty standard, or not standard, but this is kind of the main fork in the road here. I don't you can probably go back and take this more than one time. I think that's not necessarily the goal, but you got to choose your path here, side by side or over under, which right from the get go, Zach, we know that these aren't the only two kinds of guns that people use for upland hunting, but obviously we wanted to keep it fairly simple and fairly straightforward and not bring in pumps and semi-autos and all that stuff. So you choose side by side or over under, and that's the first fork in the road for folks.
This one.
Which way are you pointing?
I can't see anybody, so you're gonna have to talk.
To the left, the not stacked barrel one.
The side by side.
Side by side.
Are we? Is this a cheerocracy? Are we taking votes on this? Is this how we're going to come?
We might have to do that. Yeah, let's build the Hunter's Happy Hour gun, and we'll have to vote.
I like it.
If we have a debate.
I like it, but we know where this one's going to go because Ron, Nick, and I both like the not stacked barrels.
Yeah,
so we win that one.
All right, it's a side by side. Yep,
for sure.
But Doug, was that your vote too?
Yeah, that would have been my choice as well.
Everybody was in agreement
I think
there.
we're 5 for 5 on that. This is how it's all going to go. We're only going to have one option at the end of the Project Upland community voting on these.
Yeah.
Hey, is there any chance did you guys ever have a 2-barrel set option in here? That would be really cool.
2-barrel set option in here.
Nice. Nice. I was wondering about that.
You could just wait and see. Come on.
God, I know, but I'm so bad at that, Zach.
All right, so you can just click go ahead there, Doug. Yeah. All right. So
he's born on Christmas Day, so he wants his presents early.
You know it.
Yep. The 2-barrel sets were added in. So one thing I want to state here about the gauge, Zach, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're filling out the survey, you do select a gauge, but at the end of the day, when the guns get produced, they are going to be available in multiple gauges. So you choose the gauge for the sake of your survey and like what you would want, but the gun that does get created, it's not going to just be a single gauge, correct?
Yeah, there will be a set of gauges we choose, and it really kind of based on the survey kind of directs us a little bit on some of it.
Yeah,
but we're definitely thinking 12, 20, maybe 28, probably 28, and then we'll see from there.
Right. So are we looking at D or G? Everybody kind of thinking the same thing? 28 or 2028?
I'm thinking G. Yeah, 2028.
Yeah. G is cool. Yeah, I'd go for that.
What would that? So would that be? That would be on a 20 gauge frame, Zach?
It would be. Yep, and it'd have separate bottom metals for the 20 and the 28. So you'd have an action with a stock and then 2 complete barrel sets.
Nice.
People might get a little squirrely about that having a 28 not a scaled frame, but the weight's probably going to be pretty good anyways.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all, especially on the side by side actions we do nowadays.
So we in agreement? We're going with G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I'll take. So we did add $500 to our gun there, so we added another set of barrels. Now, hold on a second. Can we back up? Can we back up here real quick? We got to debate this, guys, because we're adding $500 to the cost of our gun to get a set of 28 barrels that are not on a scaled 28 frame. Is that logical?
Doesn't matter to me.
You would pay $500 to have 28 gauge barrels on your 20 gauge frame.
Yep.
Okay. I wouldn't, but I'm voted out there, so that's okay.
All right. Let me think here. I definitely
at this point you're doubling the cost of the gun.
I understand that, but like the cool thing about doing it this way is that you can, so it's first of all, it's going to help you sell it to your significant other, because you know what, see, if I do it this way, I only have to buy one gun. I got 2 sets of barrels. I can do everything I want with this gun. I never have to worry about getting another gun ever again. So like
said no man.
You've told this lie before,
right? No, I haven't. I don't have to justify myself to anybody. My dogs actually vote with me when I buy new stuff.
Okay, so go ahead, finish.
But like, it's kind of the classic problem. So if it's kind of if you're going to build the ultimate gun, I'd want a 2-barrel set. It's going to be a gun that you can kind of get used to. You never have to swap back and forth between 2 guns, even if they feel the same. And man, I just love having a 2-barrel set gun. Like I had a 2-barrel, I had a 1620, I think, which made a little bit less sense than a 2028. But
I think
it's just nice.
Makes more sense. But so
1620 is a pretty nice combo too. Is that an option? No, it's
that's the big thing. Like if you could do the old classic Fox Sterlingworth where you had a 16 gauge on a 20 gauge frame, that's like the end all be all. But my question would be, like, just having some fun with this, like, why, if you have a 20 gauge, what can a 28 gauge do that a 20 can't? What's the reason to shoot a 28? Isn't it because it's a sleek, slender little gun?
It makes your heart warm when you kill that pheasant at 45 yards with a 28 gauge.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine either way. I like the 2-barrel set. Otherwise, See, and that's kind of the thing, is that if it's not going to be the 2-barrel set, I'm voting for 20 gauge.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, just because I like having the 28 gauge option, because when you're, I've really decided that there's almost nothing in life that I like more than hunting quail, and hunting quail with a 28 gauge is just, that's as fun as it gets.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Hey, on that subject, Zach, as we go down the line, I know you wouldn't have this in exact ounces and grams, but as we go from 12 to 16 to 20 and then 28 without 2 barrels, what kind of weights are we saving as we go down? Do you know offhand?
Oh, if I had a catalog sitting here, I could kind of give you a rough guesstimate. We do a handful of different gauge frames. So 12 gauge gets its own frame, 20 gauge and 28 gauge get their own frame. So when you're talking a 16, it's built on a 12 gauge frame. Yeah. So you end up with a little bit more weight in the monoblock. So when you go from 12 to 16, you actually gain a little bit of weight.
Okay.
But when you go from 12 to 20 or from 20 to 28, you actually lose a significant amount.
It's almost too bad that you guys can't make a 16 gauge on a 20 gauge frame, and then you could do a 16-28.
I know.
That would be the hipster edition. That would be unreal.
That would be the hipster edition.
That would be the Project Upland gun.
You guys like that shit.
That'd be a nice combo.
I know.
We might need to talk to Dave about that.
I've talked to him, trying to get him to even make me a single 2016 combo on 20 frame.
Yeah.
But I think it's just there's not enough meat in that monoblock and the barrels.
But aren't there actually hotter rounds for 20 gauge nowadays than there are for 16s? I mean, a lot of the 16 gauge aren't like, they're not the really high pressure, super hot shells. They're kind of the standard 1,300 feet per second shells. So I wouldn't think that and just a little bit of size difference there and powder difference, it really wouldn't need a 12 gauge frame, would it?
And you're telling me that the 16 gauge guys don't reload stomping shells for themselves?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, and I do know that federal just
regular prices.
we got to err on the side of caution on our end.
Yeah, I get that, and I know that federal just came out with some pretty hot loads for 16 gauge too. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move. We'll take it. Are
we leaving the 2 set, or are we going back to 20?
No, we can go 2-barrel set. That was the vote. I just wanted to debate a little bit.
Just when it's done, we could always go back.
Yeah.
Say, okay. It made it too much.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Once you get to the end of it, you see what you've added up. You go, crap, I got to go back and take some stuff down.
Yeah.
So,
see, as long as I'm keeping the whole build price under 2K, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, trigger.
Wait till you see the engravings. We'll see if
single or double, and there's an upcharge for the single. Get back, Doug. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I am not paying $50 to have a single trigger.
I have no
skin in the
opinion
game
on this. No,
okay.
I'm fine either way. I'd probably, if I was going to build it just for me, because
he's going to go with a single.
I would go with a single. But
I'm going to go with a single myself.
Oh,
I'm
$50. You're haggling over $50, Larson. Come on, man.
Your tequila costs $50.
I was just gonna say that tequila you're drinking is $50.
Right, but you don't need to pay $50 to have a single trigger when you can shoot 2. But no matter, Ron, are you on my team at least?
Yeah, I can't. If I'm going to design a gun, it's going to have 2 triggers. Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. I'm really ambivalent. So
we're outvoted though. We're having fun. You guys,
we go into the double then?
No, it's 3-2. The single triggers have it. I just wanted to make my voice heard.
He gets sassy when he drinks tequila. It's kind of fun.
Barrel length
26,
30-inch,
26,
28.
Ooh.
I'm going 30. Yeah,
I prefer 24.
That's because you don't hunt out west at all.
Well, I prefer 26 because I'm in the woods a lot in the short.
Yeah, 30 in the grouse woods is going to suck.
Remember, guys, we selected a 28 gauge set of barrels here. You really want 24, 26-inch, 28 gauge barrels? I'm with Tyler on that end. I'd rather have 30s.
In the grouse woods, though,
it's 30s pain.
Like, you'd probably want to go with the 28s, and then you got a kind of a good all around.
Tell you what, take the 28s, cut an inch off with a portaband saw. No big deal. I'll weld them back on for you.
I got My semi-automatic 20 gauge that I shoot, it's got 26-inch barrels, and it's a little short for the prairie, but I'm fine either way. Again, I would say 30, but that's just because I hunt very little.
I'll concede and go 28. I'd prefer 26.
If I was a rough grouse guy, strictly a rough grouse guy, it would certainly be 26.
Yeah.
I have become accustomed to shooting 28s and I like that a lot. It's obviously pretty average length. It's a good length, but I think it transitions well from, the prairies to the woods. I don't have any issues shooting that in the grouse wood, so I'm going to vote 28.
Well, Mike was our tiebreaker. We'll say 28.
Sounds like a 28 then.
Yep. All right, finish.
I'm a big fan of the case.
Zach, you want to tell us anything about these finishes?
Yeah, so the black chrome and the silver chrome basically just super hardy finishes. They're kind of the standards across our line. I'm a huge fan of that black chrome. It kind of polishes up over time. So wherever you grab it, and if you're hunting it with it hard, it kind of silvers up where you're touching it a lot. But it's a really super hardy finish. Cerakote, a lot of people are familiar with Cerakote in the gun world nowadays. Just a ceramic coating. It's like an eggshell. It's like a encasing shell for the gun. And so we do that OD green on our all-terrain guns. They're basically guns that are meant to be kind of a mix of upland and turkey and waterfowl, kind of doing all the different hunting varieties. The color case is definitely the most classic. So that's kind of a rainbow color case finish. So
that would be the one.
I'm a big fan of case harden.
I like it too. There is an upcharge on that. What is it? Is it 150?
Let me see.
I'm gonna find my gun over. I'll be right back.
175.
175 for the color case.
Yeah, my Fox Savage has it, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's very classic. Doug, you're voting for color case hardening?
Yeah, I mean, 175 is a lot but if it's my dream gun, that's the one that I'd choose.
Okay.
Going for color case also.
Ron said case too.
Color case. Zach, where you at?
Man, I could be convinced either the color case or the black. I'll let you guys choose.
Tyler?
I'm right there too. Either it's between those two.
Or the black. Yeah, color case or black. I prefer the color.
Those are definitely the two that I like as well. I do really like.
Can you do the scroll work? How's that look on the case? It
does get hidden a little bit by it. I mean, it's just like it's like doing the black finish with engraving. I mean, it doesn't pop as much.
Yeah.
The color case kind of similar. So,
but as that stuff, have you seen? I've never seen a CZ color case gun that is really starting to wear off and patina up. Have you seen that, Zach? I mean,
no, I've never seen that ever. So this is my sharp tail.
Because that'll kind of tell you how
it definitely does get a patina.
Oh, yeah. Because once that stuff starts to kind of wear off, then your engraving starts to look really, really good. I mean,
yeah, that's
you
sharp.
can kind of see where my hands go. I mean, basically, if you don't want that color case to come off, you got to kind of you have to not grab it there.
Yeah,
but it does silver up and it looks really good over time.
That looks nice.
Yeah, so, just kind of polishing on all the high points.
Yeah,
I won't show you inside because I actually neglected it a little bit. It didn't get the oil I should have gotten on.
Is that your Boswell?
No, this is my CZ that I got 12 years ago.
Is that a ring neck?
Side plates, Prince of Wales grip. I bet
it is.
I think it's a ring neck.
Those are dandies. Basically a previous version of the sharp tail.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the color case color.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
The barrels stayed black as coal.
That even has side clips on it. That's pretty over the top gun.
You know what? This is so weird. Luckily we got and it's got look at the wood.
Yep.
Got good wood on it, yeah.
So, I found this. I better make sure it's empty. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure you were.
I didn't want to go over the shoulder, knock the wall out. So when I found out about CZs, this is when I was living in Virginia early on, and I saw one at a gun shop, and a buddy of mine, actually a NAVDA guy, he says, hey, I've been wanting to get one of them CZ 20 gauges. And I said, I'm hanging up. hanging out with this guy, and his son's working for me at the job site, and his dad owns this gun shop, so I'm sure he'll, at least who I'm dealing with. And when we ordered it, I swear we ordered a plain Jane 20 gauge. And when I got that one, he called me up. He said, "Hey, did you get that gun in you?" I said, "I don't know what's happening with it." So I called up the gun shop. I said, "Get me another one of them." And it was a plain. It was not this model. I think I owe CZ because Ken Whitney, I know he's not watching this, never got the gun that he was supposed to get. I love it. And I'll tell you what, that black on that barrel, I've used that gun a lot. That black on that, I call it black. It's blue, but
yeah,
it's such a contrast with that receiver. It's a cool looking gun.
That's our black chrome. So that's actually a chrome finish. And
really?
It's hardy. Yeah, it's hardy.
I didn't know that's what it was. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'm also a Prince of Wales grip liker.
Yeah. All right. So we decided on the color case. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting pricey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now here's where things get crazy. Engraving.
Bottom right, all the way. Let's cut that sucker to pieces.
You haven't even seen it. You got to keep going.
You haven't seen all of them. That is that's one that wasn't going to make the cut, but Zach and I we pushed for it.
I don't know but is that too much with the case hardened? With the
probably
case?
It won't pop like that, like a nickel finish. But remember, as that stuff kind of comes off, it'll look good.
Yep. As you wear it on that, it'll polish the high points.
So these engravings they're not cheap, but like I was saying when Zach and I talked earlier, for a full coverage hand engraving, I couldn't imagine spending anything less than what these prices are. So I still think it's a pretty wild value to get that kind of engraving. I like the one that Tyler called out right away. That one's
really cool. The one right next to it's really nice though too.
Yeah, this one's kind of
really nice.
Yeah, that's like not going crazy on your dot.
Yeah,
right.
Yep. And who's going to see the bottom where your palm is? Everyone's going to see the side plate, and they're going to think you have.
Well, what about when it's in the gun rack and everybody's standing there oogling them?
Oh yeah, there's that.
So you've got and then there's two of the kind of the minimal options, obviously that are just like real standard, but those are kind of what you already see. So, did you guys see the ones at the bottom? Did we see those ones clear enough?
Yeah,
that's a little too girly.
Oh,
those are pretty. Those are pretty.
That one on the right's just too much.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's because it's on a over under.
Pains me.
Is that I don't remember. Is that one right there? That very bottom one, Zach? Is that the one with kind of the basket weave on it?
No, I don't think the basket weave is here.
Okay.
All
right.
I like that one, the one that you're on right now, Doug.
I do too. I like that.
That's nice, and it's fairly inexpensive.
So what we're looking at here, we actually have different variations. Some of them have side plates, some of them don't. Mm-hmm. And so these are all faux side plates. They're kind of mimicking what a side lock gun would look like.
Right.
So it's all built on a box lock. But so some of these are without. So when you look at the D, which is the first one we were talking about, that one does not have side plates.
Yep.
And then you have other ones that do. So side plates equal more money and more engraving space. So it's kind of, a give and take. A lesser engraving, but with side plates.
And the thing to note for the people watching this is that your choice on the engraving will dictate whether or not your gun has side plates. So the one that Doug and Tyler are pointing at, if you select that one, you're selecting a gun with side plates, whereas the one to the right of it, it'll look like a traditional box lock.
Yep.
I gotcha.
Yep. So Doug and Tyler like that one. I prefer the one to the right of that. I like that a lot. And like if I was building this thing, it's just like I see it as like an opportunity, like your one chance to kind of put really sweet engraving on a gun that you're designing from the ground up. So I would choose that one, but I kind of like all of them anyways.
It's between those two for me.
Yeah,
they're both really nice.
Well, I think it's one of those things you kind of have to use your imagination a bit. Like C, the one on the left that Tyler chose, I think that would look really good with a color case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of one of those things where it's situational. Like that one would look really good in color case, but some of the other ones might not. So,
Yeah. Well, I tell you what,
Ron?
you could also opt, if you go for that look, you could opt for no engraving with the color case and the black, what'd you call it, black chrome?
Yep.
I'm telling you, that is a handsome, it's really hard to see it. And in this one, it's engraved around the screw heads, you know.
Yeah.
It's got in the levers engraved. It's got the, I mean, I'd be okay with the stock engraving if that would be the case with the faux side plate myself, but that's another option. Anyway, that is a ring neck, it says on the bottom. Yeah.
Yep.
So what are we choosing?
All right, boys. I'm holding a gun on you.
Pick it, Ron. Pick it, Ron.
No, I got 4 young guys. You guys need to pick it. You can't go by old guys shit.
Let's go with the one that Doug and Tyler highlighted because our cost is creeping up on this thing. So
okay, I'm good with what you guys like. Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, barrel finish, Zach.
Oh,
all right. So the glossy black, like what Ron has there, the matte black, which is, I mean, the gun that we do that on is our Upland Ultralight. So this is my first CZ, and I actually bought a pair of them for my dad and I. And so a matte black barrel, just kind of, not going to reflect, not going to shine back in your eyes. And that's what we do on the Upland Ultralight. So that's an over-under. But that's the only one we've ever really done that on. We do it on some of our semi-autos. But, yeah.
I like the glossy.
I thought that left-handed Drake of mine, those left-handed Drakes had that.
No, they're going to be a glossy still. I mean, it's kind of a semi-gloss.
Oh, now I got to go out in the garage and look for that gun.
Yeah, I like the glossy. The glossy black from the like the CZ glossy black is not super shiny or anything. It's kind of just a nice touch on it.
Yeah, it's got some gloss to it, but it's not like it's super reflective.
Yeah, it's not mirror like.
Doug, which one do you like?
I like the glossy black.
Yeah. To complement the color case hardening, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. You're right.
Glossy.
Glossy black. Never mind.
And there's no charge on that one, so we're good there. All right, ribs.
I like a rib.
Sunken swamp game rib or raised rib? Raised rib is what most people are probably accustomed to.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably go that way. That wouldn't, is it the same price for either one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same price. Yep.
Yeah.
I think you'd actually cut a little weight with the sunken rib.
With the swamp, would you really? I suppose
so.
It's less metal. Yeah.
Yep.
The guns that I've been shooting the last couple of years have swamped ribs, and it's a little bit different. One thing that really surprised me is, like, when I first started mounting them, I thought that they were way too high, like not enough drop. But it wasn't until I talked to Del Whitman that he said with a swamp game rib, you're naturally just going to see more of that rib because it falls away and you can see it, where a raised rib, it's more that, like, I don't know how you guys were taught to shoot a shotgun, but the way I was, like, when you're looking at a raised rib, you want the bead to be sitting right on top of the rib and you don't see any rib. So a lot of people are used to that, but for a side-by-side in a swamp game rib, that's the way I've been shooting it, and I like it. Knowing that it reduces weight, I'll choose that.
Well, I just looked at this old that one I got from Kirby, and that's a swamp rib, and it's something about it just looks right on a set of double barrel on a double. I mean, the look is right.
I can get behind that. I've been trying to think. The one that I have has got a raised rib.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever shot one without, but yeah, I can get behind the sunken one.
The Bob White and the Sharptail have raised ribs, I'm guessing, Zach.
Yep. Everything right now. Yep.
And
I don't think I've shot one with a sunken.
You're not looking down the barrel at the bead when you're wing shooting, so it's not really an issue. It's just, I mean, yeah, if it comes down to weight and there's no cost difference, I'll choose the swamp rib all day.
I lost the bead off one of my old shotguns, and it was apparently it was gone for like 4 months, and I never noticed it. And all of a sudden one day I noticed it, and my buddy Mike's like, "Yeah, you haven't had that since dove season." I was like, Really? I never look at it. I mean, it's just not something that I pay attention to, you know?
Doing it right.
Yep.
You weren't turkey hunting.
I sure was not. No.
So we take an A?
Yeah, let's try it. I'm interested.
All right, bead.
Brass bead.
Brass.
Yep.
Brass.
That's my vote.
Yeah.
Zach shaking his head. What's your? You want the white one or what? You want the
classic
Really?
ivory looking bead. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got an ivory on it.
You're not gonna look at it anyway.
It is nice.
Might as well be fancy.
Yeah, it is nice, but I like brass.
As long as nobody wanted to put the fiber optic on the side by side.
It did not. No.
A red fiber.
Yeah. This one, I'm curious what people are going to say on this one. So you got options: fixed chokes, no cost, or you can do interchangeable flush mounted chokes or interchangeable extended chokes. Doug, where you at?
Yeah,
I would be happy with A or B. I don't like extended chokes.
You can't do A or B. You got to pick one. We'll go right.
No, I would be. You know, I wouldn't. I would probably choose A.
Okay, Zach, what do you think? A or B?
I'm gonna choose B, but then I'm gonna swap them out. So
okay, Tyler.
Yeah, it's B for me. There's too many different scenarios that I like to hunt in that I don't want fixed chokes. I mean, if I'm going to have fixed chokes, it would have to be modified, and I don't really want that. So I definitely want interchangeable chokes. I don't want extended, certainly not on a side-by-side.
Absolutely on a side-by-side.
What? You're crazy. This guy.
Why do you want extended chokes?
Just so you have a basically a longer parallel section, so that whole shot column can pass into the parallel section and become stable.
Well, why don't we just ask the good folks at CZ to make that in the bore?
We can do it in the chokes right there. It's all about when you hit that constriction in the choke and it constricts that shot down. You need to be able to get that whole shot column into that parallel. So I think it's 1.1 inches, something like that. Talking with Scott Carlson, he has Carlson choke tubes, and he's an incredible resource. But basically talking to him about what you need in that parallel section of a choke, and being able to go to a high quality aftermarket choke and get a very consistent pattern. So
I would like to see the patterning board, because if it makes that much of a difference, then I'm all in. But
it comes down to performance.
It just looks goofy to me on a side by side. It looks fine on an over under, and it looks fine on a semi-auto, but on a side by side, it would just look a little bit goofy. It'd be like putting like one of those great big Honda mufflers on a muscle car.
It'd be like putting Crocs on me.
I mean, as long as they're black, at least they're not sticking out too much. But yeah, I'm kind of with Doug as far as, you know, the fixed choke thing. I don't like changing chokes a lot. Obviously, I hunt a lot of similar birds, but the flip side of it for me is for $50 to have extended chokes. It seems like kind of a missed opportunity to not do it. So I'll vote for the interchangeable flush mounted chokes.
No, I go back. I'm going to go with Doug. So we got 2 for A, and what's the rest of the votes? Interchangeable?
B.
Yeah,
it's got to be B for me. Because if I'm going to be hunting rough grouse, I'm going to shoot improved cylinder and skeet, and if I'm going to be hunting sharp tails, I'm going to be shooting modified and improved modified. So I definitely have to have interchangeable.
So does B take the cake?
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently. Yep.
All right. So this is a different one. This is something you're not going to find anywhere else. So last year, Dave Miller, I don't know, he was on a peyote trip or what, but he came up with the magnetic extractor ejectors. Basically, when you're in a duck blind, duck blind, goose pit, something like that, you cannot safely reload a side-by-side or an over-under. You got to tip the barrels down, drop shells in, close the gun, point it back up in the air. So what he did was we've inserted rare earth magnets into the ejector, and then on some of the over-unders on the ejectors on the over-unders on the extractors of the side-by-sides. Basically, so you can load the gun with the gun pointed up in the air, and most of those shells, the brass is actually steel. It's brass washed steel. So it'll actually magnet to it and hold those shells in the chamber. And that way you can honestly, the cool thing, I think, I'm kind of torn on it myself, but the thing that I do like about it is you could crack your gun open and work with a dog. And I can't tell you how many times I'd throw the gun over my shoulder, work with a dog, do something, get a burrs out of a paw or something, stand back up, take my gun and go to close it, and I'm missing a shell or two.
Oh yeah.
You know, they disappear into CRP. You're never getting them back. So
Right.
With this, they're going to stay stuck in the chambers.
Right. I'm start from the top, but I think I know where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've played a little bit with the Drake that I just got, shaking it around, and I'm a big fan of the magnets.
Yeah.
Big fan. And I'm sure they're going to pay off in the duck blind.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it as a safety feature. I thought about it because I don't spend that much time in a layout blind, and I've certainly never done it with a side-by-side or even in a duck blind. I thought about it as what happens when I exactly like you're talking, Zach, when I'm screwing around with the dog and I got it slunk over my shoulder and those things always fall out. So yeah, I'm certainly going with
going under a fence, handing the gun over to your buddy.
Yeah.
There's always a shell on the ground, and you're like, God dang! And if it's a non-talk shell, now you're dropping a buck and a half on the ground.
$1.50.
Yeah. That's for $50. It's hard to argue against it, and like Ron said, like you're gonna eventually lose enough ammunition to make up your $50.
Here's where shit's gonna get crazy because I'm going D all the way. Like that is gorgeous. That
Really?
is beautiful. 100%. That's beautiful.
That grade 5 is.
You know what's bothering me is I like the English stock so much more. I'm gravitating toward that grade. So I didn't see the grade 5.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
With the English stock, it might be a little just too. All right. I'm sorry. I'm doing Doug. Start from the top.
You go first.
Doug, you got to pick.
The D is going to make me not want to take it in the grouse woods, but I'd be embarrassed with B. So I would probably choose C.
You'd be embarrassed with B?
Yeah. I just don't like it.
Yeah. It don't look good.
Well, you got to realize that's
what are you guys talking about?
I like C or D, either one of those.
Yeah,
D looks gorgeous. Though.
Sorry,
like
Tyler.
grouse ones. That would have to. You're right.
I don't know why.
Another example of B right there.
Yeah, but it's a lighter. Why is it so much lighter than the Turkish?
Well, I mean, they're all Turkish one. They just have different levels of different colors of stain in them.
Remember, they're only examples too. This is a hard one because you're not seeing the actual blanket yet. But
yeah, and here's 5. So this is my sporter from way back in the day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
having that pink extension on there, that's cool.
There we go.
Well, I'm a pretty tall guy, so
yeah, he drinks White Claws just like me. C or D. I like the pretty wood.
I like C. I mean, if we're talking about like not keeping the dollar down, but like something you'd be really like cool with. I mean, C kind of covers it for people who like wood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And D is like I Doug a little bit. It's like, boy,
it'd be really nice to be. It'd be a little bit too nice to be carrying around the grouse woods. I agree.
I'd hate to scratch either one of them, but
but you can always refinish it. That's the beauty of wood.
Or you go to Del Whitman, you could get it next year when it's back.
2 years.
But the thing is also, I mean, what else you got to do? I mean, what in this life? Why not splurge?
Yeah. You're gonna use it.
But I guess I was trying to look at that English gun. I bet you that's only a grade 2. It's a nice walnut, but I don't know. Anyway, I vote for C, but what's the consensus?
I'm good with C. C's nice. I'm having a hard time. It's a $300 difference in price.
Yeah. If I lived out in the prairies, then I would for sure take D, but there's no way I'm carrying that in the grouse woods.
And I talk a big game about nice wood, but I'm also cheap. So B really is kind of where I really.
Okay.
So yeah, I have the same thinking in that I like nice wood. Like if I'm building this gun, I'm not getting field standard grade. Like I'm 100% upgrading the wood. I don't like usually when I see something that's labeled like exhibition wood and it's real crazy and has a lot going on, I don't like it. It's just not my taste. So when I see something like B, I tend to like You can see the figure. It's straight lines. I really like that. I also really like C. I mean, C is a great looking piece of wood. The thing about C is if you choose that, you're kind of you're increasing the odds that you're going to get a really, really nice piece of wood, because it's kind of a gamble, right, Zach? I mean, you're trying to select these blanks and categorize them, but you never know what you're going to get. So
yeah, it's like a prize one utility. It could be 187 or 204.
Well, it's kind of like Ron's gun. I mean, that piece of wood is still just a field grade piece of wood, but we kind of call it the CZ wood lottery. Yeah. So I mean, you can if you kind of pick and choose, you can find some really nice stuff. And it's kind of the same with a grade 4. I mean, it might be a grade 4, but that's what they graded it when it was a blank. So then they actually cut it, and it turned out to be nicer than that. I mean, you can get some really impressive stuff. So
yeah, it's hard to get around that one. Yeah, I like both B and C. If we're selecting, sounds like we're kind of targeting C, which is cool.
It sounds like C. Yeah, like it's not going to be insane. I mean, $1,000 for a piece of wood is a lot.
And I will also say that any piece of wood on the gun, I'm taking it in the grouse woods. I don't care. It can be refinished.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, if I could have saw B with a darker oil finish, it might have been nice enough for me.
We can tell who doesn't have an imagination here. Come on.
Oh, that's because I'm old.
So this is a little different one. You got standard diamond cut checkering or the laser stippling, which to me the laser stippling is that's like, yeah, I wouldn't even think of that. I wouldn't even have known. It's kind of cool looking, but I like the diamond cut.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Diamond.
All right, grip.
This is where you make enemies right here.
Yeah, it is.
Zach and I don't agree on this one.
Well,
I think we could all close our eyes, let Doug hit it, and we go to the next one, because everybody's going to be different.
No, because if he picks pistol grip, I'm going to have to hit him. I don't like pistol.
Yeah.
I don't like pistol grip. I'm fine with either of the other two.
Yeah, because the other two are kind of the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably taking B.
Okay.
I'll go
fine
with
that. Yeah.
So I like straight grips, but
What is the bottom one? I can't actually see that one.
English straight grip.
Well, it's standing.
I gotcha.
The general consensus in comments is pistol grip.
No way,
Not
man.
for me.
No.
Good.
No. Not a pistol grip. The one cool thing about the Prince of Wales that I've always kind of liked, I want a gun with a round knob grip. It's just a really good looking grip. But when you get a really nice piece of wood on there, a lot of times you can get some really nice figure in that Prince of Wales, the little round knob, so that can look really cool too. So yeah, I'll go with B for sure, but absolutely no way pistol grip.
Yeah, I'm good with B or C, either one.
So are we
not a goddamn pistol anyway. It's a shotgun.
Correct.
All right, so we're gonna go Prince of Wales.
Wrong.
My uncle was the Prince of Wales.
Wrong. What is your choice, Zach?
I'm a pistol grip guy. I'm going to learn. I've got the Bob White. I'm going to be shooting it all this year. It'll be.
I hang out a lot with Ranella at Prince of Wales Island. How could I not do Prince of Wales? Come on.
Is that a name drop? I think
that was a humble brag. That's exactly what that was.
That's a square. Who's got humble brag?
I didn't mention anything about sex or swimming naked, but I dropped Steve's name.
You just did.
Now there's 2 more squares. Who's paying you?
I'll have a drink.
Just so you know, we're 4 minutes and 29 seconds into the second hour.
Yeah, we should. Should we
I'm
take
out of beer though.
Yeah, should we take a second and go and pee and refresh our beers?
I can do that.
I can do that.
All right. Intermission, folks.
I was going to pee right now where I'm sitting, but that's all right. All right. I guess I could go pee. What the hell? My dogs are all laying under bed. Did you guys all pee already? Everybody happy? Is everybody happy? Who's a good baby? Who's a good baby? Get up on the table. Oh. Good.
Well, it's green, but it looks like it's not too bad. Baby. It's like a spot, doesn't it, baby? Maybe you should go outside.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Last week we had our guest peeing in the toilet while on mic, so you're already winning today.
Yeah, well, I get to go outside. I just go in the backyard.
He walked away with his headset on and he went and peed in the toilet. And it was full sound effect. It was great. Are you having a beer now, Zach?
I am. I'm done with the
Put away. What do you got?
goons.
Not familiar with that one.
Exile Brewery, the best brewery in the world out of Des Moines.
Really? Bohemian, what kind is it? Blood?
It's a blood orange. So it's a sour that has blood orange in it.
Oh, sour. Oh, that's the one. I'm just barely getting into the craft world. And I'm not ready for sours yet.
You gotta keep hanging out with these Project Upland guys. You'll come over to the hipster side.
Yeah, you have to. We've been doing puzzles during COVID. Sue and I've been doing puzzles, and my daughter and son-in-law gave us a puzzle. It's the biggest one we've done, and it's got all the labels of all the Michigan microbreweries.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm really attracted to it. So I'm developing a passion for beers I have not tasted yet.
I'm pretty sure you can do puzzles in non-COVID times as well, Ron. I'm just going to put that out there.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, but think of the other things you could be doing. West Larrabee on the river and having one. Cheers to you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Ron's back, small bladder, bush latte. I brought my bottle. Are we way down on people, Doug?
We're actually back to normal during COVID time.
All right. So we got
to see all you degenerates back.
Yeah.
Degenerates want to sit and talk to us.
What you got? What you smoking, Tyler?
I got a Camacho. I bought a 4-pack of Camachos. They are really, really good.
I was going to say Swisser Sweets to go with your White Claw.
Hey, I switched to an actual man beer. Thank you very much.
Wood tips, thank you. Wood tips.
Wood tips. Yeah. I'm not rocking the backwoods cigars or nothing like that, but I'm not above it.
Backwoods.
I haven't had a backwoods in a while.
The other ones are like, okay, it's a 40. This isn't expensive, but it's a bigger one. These are the Orango Sportsmans with a little vanilla and Maduro, and so they're good with coffee. They're good with beer. But if I'm going somewhere, I don't want to light a big cigar, so I got the little backwoods. But the problem is, I tend to sneak a little inhale out of them. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that. But if I'm only got like a 20-minute drive, I smoke one of them backwoods. Damn things are almost $7 for 5.
Yeah.
They're not worth that. I mean, come on.
For sure not.
These are Rangos. Where is it? I'm trying to get them for a sponsor. Rango Sportsman, CDF distributors out of Chicago, Illinois. Huh. That thing is only $1.25.
This is like $12.
Yeah. Oh, goody.
Good. I mean, if I smoked as many as you did, I'd have to smoke the cheap ones too. But like when I have 15 cigars a year, I can smoke the good ones.
Oh yeah, if I had 15 cigars a year, I'd go straight Cuban.
Right. If you only smoked 15, you could probably afford to hire a Cuban woman to fly up and hand roll them with her thighs right in front of you, probably. So.
Well, that's what I used to do when I had more money.
right. And then you got Broncos, and then everything went sideways.
No, but when I was selling Bronco puppies, I was getting the thigh rolled cigars. It was nice.
You don't sell puppies to make money, Ron.
No,
it's about bettering the breed.
You're absolutely right, Doug.
That's why he doesn't do it anymore.
Right.
You got to have dogs that hunt.
The breed peaked out early on.
It was doing fine till you got a hold of them.
All right, let's finish this survey up. I don't think we have much left, really.
Weird. All right.
What was the last thing we chose? Oh, forend. This is gonna be another contentious one here.
Yeah,
it's A for me.
Yeah, me too. Splinter. I will say the semi beaver tail from CZ it's a good one. I don't like the big thick ones, but
right. That's the difference. You're right, Nick, because I'm looking at that 20 gauge of mine.
Your ring neck looks. I mean, that looks nice.
Yeah, there is really no grip difference in that. It's not like the Browning beaver tail.
Right. Yeah.
Big and fat. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, my hand. I don't think it's a little wider than a true splinter, like the width wise, right?
Yep. Yep.
I honestly, if you're going to take this thing to the sporting clays range occasionally, if you're going to shoot a little trap with it,
you're going to want that. You're going to want
semi
that
beaver tail keeps your hands off the barrel. Yeah.
That's what it does.
Oh, it's going to get hot. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this is your quail gun, I mean,
yeah. I still take the splinter. I mean, I shoot my splinter forend guns at the sporting clays range. I'm not shooting a ton, but it's nice, obviously, when you don't have your hands burning. But it's a game gun for me, so I'm going splinter. I like the clean lines.
I'll go game gun for that too. I'll vote for that. How about you, Dougie?
I'm going to take splinter.
All right, Tyler, you don't care?
No, I'm definitely taking A. Well, here's where we get back into talking about wood again. I like I like a nice thin piece of wood in my hands.
Yeah, I already said I don't like the big thick ones.
Not into the girthy ones.
That's between you and
These are all turning into sound bites for a drop when I get a soundboard. Just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
Really just too bad.
One thing.
You already screenshotted me with a White Claw in my hand. I can't get any more embarrassed or unmasculated than I already am. So
one thing to keep in mind,
I had no desire to have a cigar tonight, but I was like, I gotta like regain like 7 man points.
Yeah. One thing you got to think about is if you're doing nice wood and you're paying all that money for nice wood, the semi beaver tail is going to show it off better.
It will.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's a question for you, Zach. If when CZ, does the forend come out of the same blank as the stock?
Yeah.
It does. Okay. All right. I was just curious. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know that they're all done like that. So
on the semi-autos, I don't think it's as common, but on over-under side-by-sides, I think it's pretty much,
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Obviously, you wouldn't put a standard grade forend with a grade 5 stock.
Well, and like if I hadn't just had my first beer on that Supreme Field, you can see those mineral streaks actually carry through into the forend. Cool. So really cool. That's kind of neat when you see that, or when you see a line of like darker wood, wood grain going, and then you actually see it pick back up in the forend. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So what are we saying with it?
Yeah, we already voted you 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely not be.
Absolutely not.
Well, and I do have to say that that's throwing us off a little bit because that is a very unique gun.
Yeah.
That's a gun that's built for young shooters, female shooters. It started out as the ladies Sterling. So it's dimension specifically built for ladies that have kind of thinner faces, thinner cheekbones, and a long neck. And so that's very obviously exacerbating the dimensions there. That's kind of a unique gun, but that gun actually works really well for kids that are coming up, young boys that are coming up in SETP. It's a set of dimensions that work really well for them. So that's the gun we call it the SCTP Sterling nowadays. But don't let the dimensions throw you off on that.
No, that's fine. I'm not gonna. It's just not for me.
Right.
Yeah. Like
it's an additional cost for adjustable, but There is a consideration, Zach, right? Like if you are lefty or something, I mean, you might think
if
about
you are
that.
afflicted with that terrible, handicap.
Home. If you know that you're way out of the standard dimension range, you might be thinking about that. But I know that I shoot standard dimensions well, and I think the other guys kind of do as well. So yeah, I wouldn't add cost for that.
I got a humble brag for you guys. You guys will like this. This is pretty good. First time I ever went shot trap ever in my whole life. I was 18 years old, and I was shooting a Remington 1187 with a 30-inch barrel with a fixed full choke. Standard gun off the shelf, and I ran 100 straight. And everybody's like, they're all out there with their Perazis and shit like that, and they're just like, "Wow, that's pretty good." And like, you should see what you can do with an adjustable stock and everything else. It's like, hey, you know what? I just beat your guys' best score by like 5 birds. Just don't give me any pointers right now. Like, my equipment is fine. I've always shot standard guns pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm taking A. Is that kind of the general?
That's a little bit more than a humble brag.
That's a straight out.
I could have said that 3 weeks later I shot 250 straight with the same gun, but I didn't until now.
Until now.
Yeah, I'm going to answer Dale over there in the comments.
That one, Doug.
What's the question?
What's that?
I'm going to answer Dale over in the comments. Not spending $2,300 on a kid. That is $1,300. Thank you.
There you go. All right. Yep. A standard comb.
Okay.
Stock weight reduction. So this is hollowing out the butt where the through bolt goes in there, and there's no cost for that.
Wow. What kind of weight is it saving? And like, are there any what's the upside downside to this?
It's weight. Yeah.
There's nothing else that's different at all.
No, it's just kind of taking out some of the extra wood.
What about balance? What does it do?
Yeah. So especially if you're
forward,
it's like that Upland Ultralight that I picked up earlier. So it has 26-inch barrels with no mid ribs, and so we've hauled out the buttstock on that thing because with no mid ribs and short barrels, it could be whippy. Yeah, when you take some of that weight out of the butt, it gives it a better balance. Yeah. So
I'm down with the hollowed buttstock then.
Yeah, in our case, we got a 20-28 2-barrel set. We're not gonna mess with things too much. I'd probably haul out the buttstock. It's been a game gun the whole way.
I'm wondering what these things are gonna weigh. With the hollowed out buttstock, with the sunken rib, with everything else. I mean, these things aren't gonna weigh much over 5.5 pounds. Maybe they're gonna be light, right, Zach?
Let me get over the Bob White will be a good reference.
That's what I was just going to ask. Does the Bob White have the hollowed out buttstock?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay.
And that's a 6-pound gun.
Bob White's fairly. I think it's
6.
The 28 gauge is sub 6, I believe.
I think it's the 20 is right at 6. The 28 gauge 5.5. So I mean, you're gonna see a little bit of a dip. I mean, with that sunken rib, you're taking a little bit of weight out of the entire length of the barrel. Yeah. Right. It's not a lot, but I mean, it's out of the whole length of the barrel.
We did a Prince of Wales grip, so we added a touch of weight, but that's wood, so it's not real heavy.
Well, here's the thing.
Depends on the piece of wood.
Here's the thing for us older guys, okay? I look at those two questions, and I pick B because I get a colonoscopy every couple years. And I just want to go to none.
You don't want to get your butt hollowed out anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I am tired of a hollowed out butt stuff.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Well done, Rob.
It was
well done. You know what? Cheers, buddy. That was good for you.
Social.
What a group of idiots we are.
Yeah.
Well, if we're the idiots, what are these people watching us? I mean, come on now. Like, we're a bunch of mouth breathing idiots. I mean, good Lord.
Anybody gonna put sling studs on their gun?
If you do, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
No, I'm voting.
Doug, really putting
Doug starts from the top. Doug, sling.
If it's an Upland gun, I'm voting no.
Okay. Zach?
Nah.
Tyler's no.
100%.
Yeah, the one gun thing, or like the Upland gun thing, no, I'm not going to. If it was my only gun ever, maybe I'd consider it, but no.
All right, well, I gotta go with you guys. I'm a team. I'm part of a team.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though every good old English and German gun I ever had a sling stock. That's okay. Don't worry about me. Oh, this is a good one here.
All right, Ron, you put a little flair on it here now.
Yeah. Oh,
Boy, that's a tough one. It's not going to be A for me. It's not going to be A.
I know what it is.
It's going to be A for me.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
What do you like, Tyler?
God, it's going to be between B and C for me.
Really?
Yeah.
You like
John,
the
what do
vented?
you like?
Honestly, I'd probably go with B.
God, I'm a C guy.
I like C. I like C a lot.
But there's only one vote for C. All my good guns. There's no butt pad. It's the stock.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I don't own any good guns, so I don't have a point of reference.
Well,
it's going to be, it's going to be a 20 gauge, 28 gauge. We're not going to have to worry about recoil. So I mean, there's that. Like I'm a little bit like Zach, where I got a fairly long length of pull, so I think I'd want a little bit of a butt on there.
Well, and the way to
Tyler
think
does
about
like
that,
butt.
Tyler, is that like it's a through bolt stock, so you got a hole in the end of the stock, so you have to put some kind of covering on it. Right. So even that wood one
is going to be raised a little bit.
It's a wood plate. It's not just the checkered butt of the actual stock blank.
Sure, I gotcha.
But like if you're thinking, hey, because these are going to come out in 14.5. These are going to be released as a standard dimension. So if you know you need more than that, you might.
I'm fine with standard.
Right. Okay. So if you're good with that, then you can pretty much take whatever you want. But if somebody knows they're going to need a longer or shorter stock or a longer one, you're going to want to choose probably the thin rubber, have no cost, and then you can put your own pad on it. You can extend it yourself.
That D is really pretty too. I mean, like
it is.
If we would have done a different receiver, like if we would have done a polished silver receiver or something like that, C or D would look sharp. That'd look really nice. But with
good question, Zach. If you choose like a color case hardened finish, would then that change the skeletonized butt plate, or have we not got to that point?
I would think it. I would think it probably would, because when you look at our Hammer Classic and Hammer Coach, they're
you gotta make them the same, right?
Yeah, well, they're guns that have a color case receiver, and they have a flat metal pad. I mean, it's not a pad; it's just a flat metal butt. And they are color cased on their butt.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with Ron. I'm going to say C.
Yeah, I'll take C as well, because I really do like the look of the cross grain like wood plate. Caesar Guerini does it a lot. If you see any of the Caesar Guerinis, they have that. It's a really nice looking thing. That was the last one. Let's put in the Hunter's Happy Hour there. Oh, did we see what our final MSRP was?
It was like $2,300, $2,305, I think.
We crept up there quite a bit, but it was a 2-barrel set.
Yeah, if you don't go with the 2-barrel set there, I mean that knocks $500 off. I mean you're still at $1,800. You know, but I mean
$2,000 for a gun that's got a lot of features on it.
But I mean, I'm telling you, for $2,300, like if it was going to be $1,800 or $2,300, there's not, like, as far as in my mind, there's not much difference. Like if we're talking like $1,000 gun to a $2,000 gun, there's a big jump there. Yep. So I'm taking the 2-barrel set for sure, and I'm feeling a lot better about my choice now, because Nick had me questioning my logic there for a minute. But I'm happy with the 2-barrel set choice. When you're talking a $500 difference between that, it's not that much.
There's a lot of bumper stickers that are going to be made here.
Yeah,
don't forget, I own all the copyrights to this, so don't anybody try stealing it.
I like my shotguns just like my women. I need a little bit of ass on there.
I don't even know how to go back. I got a thought. I blew the thought in my head.
I think go ahead, Ron.
Right. I was going to say, if when you were pulling the drop down on the 2-barrel set versus single, I wasn't even thinking that you were off. You know what I mean? It was out of my realm. I don't think of 2-barrel sets unless you're going high end.
Right.
I probably would have not.
Hey now.
This is a high-end gun. A 2300, like that's got.
I mean, like, the people who are out, they're, I got to have this and this, and you see those $100,000 guns. But I'll bet you if you only had if you had no barrel set guns in that list, I don't know how many people would have said, "What do you mean? How come no 2-barrel sets?" I bet you it wouldn't have crossed many people's mind.
Yep.
But like a bunch of kids, and I'm a kid, I'm just old. We all saw that and we're like, "Ooh, ooh, two barrels.
Yeah. I had a Beretta that I did not like at all. I had a 686 Gold X, and I never shot it well. And it had 2 barrels that came with that. It had a 12. Yeah. I think
what was it? A 12 and 20?
God, I want to say it was a 12-20, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It was heavy. It didn't. I don't like over-unders. I've never shot them well. I don't like the idea of having to shoot underneath of what I'm shooting at. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't get over the sight picture in my head of having to float that bird. And I just, like, it was something that I had to make myself a conscious decision to do. It's like, okay, we're shooting this gun today. You need to shoot about a half foot underneath of that thing if you're going to hit it. And I never liked it. I just don't like the way they look.
That all comes down to the gun, though. If that gun was patterning high, I mean, that's how it was
built. Sure.
With ours, I mean, most of our field guns, they're going to be 50-50.
Are they really?
I mean, you're just splitting it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, birds are on the rise, and you're
sure
going for that. Yeah.
I just don't like them. I don't like the way they look. It's just me. But then again, I'm the semi-auto guy, so I really don't get a vote here.
Right. I was going to say, no matter how many guns Tyler has shot or has owned,
I shoot semi-autos the best. I love them.
It's a semi-auto. So I don't know. Can we black out his screen or put a red circle with a diagonal thing in it? There we go. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody's gonna freeze, right?
Yeah.
Nice entry-level gun you have here. Yeah, well, we've got a Bob White for $600. So, that's an entry-level gun.
Yeah, I mean,
a little nicer thing.
If you're going to make a custom gun for $2,300, you're not going to get a better deal than that.
No.
And like this, a 2-barrel set custom gun with a really nice piece of wood on it. I don't need the third shot, Brett, you dick.
I'm gonna spit out my beer. No, but he sure likes to have it.
It's handy. No,
I didn't say you needed it. I said you sure like to have it.
And honestly, I'm going to be shooting. I got Craig's over under 28 gauge. I'm going to shoot that a lot this year. I shoot that gun like that's the only over under I've ever shot that I actually like, and I think it's because the only other over unders I ever shot were 12 gauge, and that 28 gauge, it's got such a smaller profile on those barrels, and I shoot it really well. But there were a lot of times everybody's like, well, yeah, you need third shot for quail hunting, or do you take the plug out for quail hunting? No, I don't. I can't even think the last time I shot a third shot when I was quail hunting.
Well, you never clean the gun. I don't think you could put more than 2 shells in the tube.
You shouldn't have to clean them. They should just work forever. Like, I mean, come on now. I got an old gun I got an old 12 gauge in the house. I probably got 10,000 rounds through. The grease is the only thing holding it together.
Grease, carbon, and lead.
That's right. In fact, I cleaned it. I didn't clean it, but one of my buddies, it was just driving him crazy. And he's like, I'm going to clean that gun for you. It broke 2 days later. So, there's that. If I had this, if I buy one of these really nice Project Upland collabs, if this one goes through, then I'll clean that one. It's easier than a semi-auto.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will. Don't you tell me, Mr. Ron Burgundy.
I know that one of the things.
Wait, imagine this 2 more weeks.
It's going to be so good.
Oh,
you're going to have a full-on Elvis Pompadour by the time hunting season gets around.
It's just so cool.
Pretty serious.
It is.
Well, Ron, you're a little bit short anyways. I think you're just doing it just so that you can get a little taller.
That's giving him
You're not going to be able to see over the grass. It's not going to help you there.
At least 1 or 2 inches of height there.
Oh, I just can't hold my thighs this long.
Yeah. You would actually be taller. You'd probably be average height if you walked normal. Like, but you just can't stand up straight. And your bow legs.
I went to orthopedic surgeon last Thursday.
Oh, for your knee. Yeah.
And so you go in the x-ray room, they take a picture front on of both your knees, and then the knee that's bothering you, they give a bunch of more angles to it. I get in the room, and I really like this doctor. He walks in, no mask on. Everyone's got a mask on. And I'm like, oh, mask off. My doctor's got no mask on. And he says, he clicks the light on the x-ray screen. It's got both of my knees front view. And he says, It's up to you. Do you want me to diagnose this, or do you want to diagnose this?
I can just see him turning on. I can see him turning on the light and just be like, "Ah, what the hell did you do to yourself?"
He didn't overreact because he probably looked at it 5 minutes earlier. But he says, "I said, I'm not a doctor, but I see a real lot of differences in those two knees." He says, "Which one you think is bad?" I'm going, "Probably the one that looks like it's touching the other one." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Your femur is touching your tibia." Oh, no wonder why it hurts. You know,
are you gonna get it replaced, or what are you gonna do?
At some point, but it's a lot of pain management, a little bit of that, a brace. You know, he says go as long as you can, but he says,
sure.
What I've seen right now, he said, if you came to me and you said you're in a number 8 or 9 pain every day, you need a knee replacement.
And you're in like 3 or 4 ish.
Well, yeah, most days 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But the only reason I went to the doctor was for the last 2 months. Some mornings I get up and I think I got a tack on my, you know what I mean? Feels like I'm stepping on a tack on my foot. It's like, I'm like, oh, ow. And then it kind of dissipates a little bit. And, you know, and I'm not taking near the amount of ibuprofen you can legally, but that's mostly because I drink more than you should legally.
Yeah.
So I try to keep the balance there. Anyway, so at least I know it's not a ligament. It's just like, no,
sure.
you just
last time we talked, you were worried it might be like an MCL or something like that. Like, yeah.
No, it's bone on my right one. But you know what? I just drive to the other mile, and when you guys get to that mile, put the birds in the truck.
Uncle Ron's blocking. He's
gonna drive you around and I'll block on the next mile.
You got to get that blocker hat.
Oh yeah.
Once you turn 60, you got that right. You're fine.
Oh, what did Mike say? Falling apart. You get on the jiu-jitsu mat. I'll kick your ass, Mike.
That's the Miller Lite talking.
Well, yeah.
Probably. Like what he doesn't know is that Mike's actually like a black belt and ripped, and he's not worried.
That's actually the Dutch assassin, and he's coming for you, Ron.
The Dutch assassin. Does that mean that he's going to borrow money and never pay it back, or what?
Dutch assassin.
Ben Linhout.
Oh yeah, my God! No, don't even throw me in the same county with that guy. That's so weird. A guy that is a black belt through the gym I go to works with Doug.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
he's known as the Dutch assassin. Goes to Vegas every year to fight in the Nationals.
I think I got another bingo square for everybody every time I bring up Scott Linden. But I think that we should I think that we should set up a fight between Ron and Scott Linden for conservation. Like all the proceeds go to some conservation group, and there's like no eye gouging. You can certainly pull hair. I think that is like I think that there'd be a lot of money to be made in that. I'm in for some money, I'm going to be taking side bets.
Hey, if he chimes in, I'm
going to start it. I'm going to get that trending on Instagram now. Yes. What's the competition though?
It's got to be mano a mano, 1 against 1, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll go no rules. I'll go eye gouging. I'll go any rules he wants.
We'll get you one of the stages at Pheasant Fest.
Oh man! I mean, like,
up on the public land stage,
public land pavilion.
Like,
the only thing that would be better is if it was Jello wrestling. I mean, I'm in for all of this, but 2 old guys wrestling around in Jello, that's some money to be made there.
Yeah, but
put it away.
Even those comically big boxing gloves would be awesome. I don't even care, you know.
In dinosaur suits.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Then plus they can make training videos all summer long. It'd be Ron sitting around drinking and smoking cigars, and Linden out combing his mustache
and tipping the hat.
We're kind of throwing the gauntlet down a little bit. Huh?
I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to him on Facebook.
Perfect. Do it.
You should.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of a sense of humor he has, but he might get a kick out of it.
He doesn't drink beer on his podcast, so
no, he does not. No. Well, I'm gonna drink to the new bingo square because I think I brought them up like 10 times now.
Zach, you should tell Ron what kind of dogs you have.
Well, Ron's actually helping me out with my next dog.
Ooh.
He doesn't know it.
But,
no.
Hunter anymore?
I'm not a hipster enough for that. No, I've got a wire hair, a GWP that was actually a rescue, and then a Chesky Fosick from the Czech Republic. So got a Bohemian wire hair bringer thumb.
Yeah. After I talked to Anna on that podcast, honest to God, I was like, boy, because I've always loved wire hairs, and I've seen a lot of griffs from like Bill Jensen up in Minnesota, and I've seen a lot of good griffs, but in my opinion, a really good griff, you can hardly tell it from a wire hair,
Right.
The coat and the furnishings maybe a little heavier, and it almost sounds like they threw a little Bracco into it and made the Chesky Fosick.
Well, they're beefier. The griffs are beefier than the wire hairs typically. I mean, you see it in the frames.
Yeah.
But you can find wire hairs that are not as furnished, and then our wire hair has one of the biggest beards I've seen. So
does she got a big head of hair too, or just here?
No, she's got eyebrows, but she's got a huge beard.
Just a brush.
Just a big beard, but it's not.
It's not. Wilhelm.
It's straight down.
Cheers, Rock Guy. That was pretty good. I appreciate that.
Dumb hat radio. That's too funny.
Joe Levesque up there. I got a bunch of pound puppies. Yeah, I've got the wire hair that came out of a pound nearby us. We had a GSP at the time that I gave to my dad recently, but when we saw her at the pound, 20 minutes away, she was 9 months old and she looked like a purebred GWP. I was like, well, might as well give her a home. And she has the most drive of any dog.
Wow,
it's incredible.
I like stories like that.
But she has incredible drive. So.
Do you think somebody bought it and then it literally just had too much drive and they're like, nope, can't deal with this dog?
They got her as they bought a bird dog and then
they were thinking they were getting a close working griff.
Well, they put it in the backyard and then left it there, and it jumped out of the fence and just wanted attention. And she's the most incredible house dog ever. She lives in the house with us. It's great. So,
nice.
Yeah, you hunt her a little bit or no?
What's that?
You hunt her a little bit too?
Yeah, as much as we can. She's got allergies of all things. So when it's dry and dusty, her throat closes up, and it's just we've got her on Apoquel during the hunting season, which kind of helps. But if you find a wet, snowy day, she can go all day, absolutely all day.
You see, Ron's dogs have allergies too, but they're just allergic to birds and listening. So those are the only allergies.
You're wrong, Tyler. They're allergic to birds and exercise.
Okay.
Not lately. Tyler's been crushing it.
I have been. Yeah. Mike asked me about the 28-day challenge. I don't know if it's a 28-day challenge, the food that's actually making me lose weight, or the fact I'm going to the gym like 5 or 6 days a week, but I'm down almost 40 pounds since like the 1st of May. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So I made the mistake of finally buying a scale, and there was an eye opener there. I'll tell you,
little accountability
like,
there.
No fucking way is that right? We got to calibrate this thing.
Tyler gets up on the scale. He looks at it in the morning and says, "The scale says." Whoa,
get off! He just screamed, "Get off me! I'm not made for this." I was joking around with Bruce and those guys, and they're out here in May. I was like, I'm gonna have to go find a butcher shop with a scale that's big enough to weigh me. It's the only thing that's gonna work. But I want to. I don't even want to tell you guys where I was at when I jumped on a scale, but I want to be down about 100 pounds total by hunting season. So
wow, so another 60?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude.
It makes a huge difference. I did the keto thing thinking I would do it for just a month or two to try to get ready for the season. And I dropped a tremendous amount of weight, and it made all the difference. It made my season last year. I was able to go further.
Yeah. Going farther has never been the problem for me. I can go 13, 14, 15 miles a day, and I can do it most days. But the thing that I noticed was at the end of hunting season, my knees, my ankles, and my back were just shot. I mean, they were just sore.
My daughter says that a pound of weight is 4 pounds of pressure on your joint.
I believe it. Yeah. And the first couple days in Arizona was really the eye opener. Cause I mean, Arizona, that's the best shape I'm going to be in all year. I've literally been walking a ton of miles every day for months. And the first couple days I got out of bed down there, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go. Like, I mean, I literally would stand up and my knees and my ankles and my back were so sore and hard to stand up. And I was like,
because of going up.
And there's no good footing. There's a lot of rocks and shit. So you're kind of always a little bit off balance. And it's not like walking across a flat North Dakota field for 12 miles a day. It's just different, you know. And yeah, so I was like, no, that's it. You know, in my 20s and early 30s, it was a lot easier to just be stubborn and be like, whatever, I'll be fine. Yeah. 36, it's different. So,
and trust me, if you don't make that change now, you'll just be showing somebody on an Onyx map where to go when you're 40.
Right. Yeah, and I remember how much I actually like the gym, which is something that's like I'm not 6'7", Stuart. I am 6'4", 5-ish. Thanks for the exaggeration. But grain elevator has a good scale. Yes, you're right, Joe. George says it's cold out in North Dakota. They're standing on a truck scale. Yeah, that's right. So, it's I've always really enjoyed the gym. It's just getting there that's always the hard thing because sit around and it's like
it's called showing up. It's called showing up.
Yeah, right, exactly. And once I get there, it's fun. I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. I'm pumped for you.
60 more.
Zach, what were you doing last year? You said you were talking about keto or something?
Yeah, I did keto. I actually just ended it about a week ago. I've got to take a break from it because I just feel like I've been going too long. So I did keto for almost a year.
Energy?
No, not at all. It changed my energy tremendously. I went from kind of having peaks and valleys that once I got past kind of that first intro keto flu, kind of evened out, like maybe more even keeled. I didn't have the highs and the lows. Sugar kind of ruled my life. Yeah. And so I cut out sugar like completely for almost a year. So trying to consume none of it. So
yeah. The only sugar I drink is in booze. Like I don't drink any pop at all, or soda or whatever. I don't like sweets, but
pasta and rice and bread.
But I don't eat bread that ever anymore.
Keto be easy,
but it's better than sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
I just see, and
we're all diet. We're all
right.
And
right.
Nutrition.
Zach said he had peaks and valleys. My peaks were hunting season. My valleys was the rest of the year. So that was the problem. It's like from August until January, I'm motivated, man. I'm ready to go. And then come February, it's like, no, I'm just going to sit around and drink a lot of scotch and not do anything else anymore.
Well, with COVID, we've been in this valley for like 3 years now.
Right. Yeah. God, it seems like it. It seems like Fest was 2 years ago. It's crazy that it was just a few months back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is there anybody? I know we're just bullshit, and that's why people come in. Anybody? I know things are coming up. Some NAVDA tests are coming up and getting together. Is anybody heard, or are they canceling stuff for next year? Have anybody heard anything?
With our tests in the Chesky Fosset Club, they actually canceled our spring tests, and they'd actually having a conversation about extending the intermediate age to allow a little bit older dog to do that intermediate test.
Stanford did the same thing.
Yeah. So
all right, you missed a test, you can run the dog.
It seems like I think I saw some of the stuff out of the Chesky Fosset Club. They're doing some of their testing. I think maybe the Rocky Mountain chapter did something here recently.
Yeah.
So I think things are starting to open back up.
Yeah. I just wonder, they're letting some sports go and stuff, but I'm like, you get a place like, well, now, Zach, you've probably been to SHOT Show. I'm assuming. I don't know if you've been there, but I've never been there. Hear about it. But I've always heard for years, like, you go to SHOT Show, you're going to come out with a cold, a canker sore, or arthritis. I mean, you're going to get something, right?
Ron might come out of SHOT Show with different ailments than I would, but I'm not going to judge him for that.
Well, if it's the bunny, I'm not talking about going to the bunny ranch.
But no, you always they call it the SHOT Show flu. And basically being in a room with 60, 70,000 people shaking hands, having guns fall over there.
You're down. Oh, gun down.
But really, you have so many people in one room. You're shaking hands with so many people, and then you all you go out to the airport and you sit around for a couple hours waiting for your planes, and all that just kind of stews.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's hard to come away from there without the SHOT Show flu. Yeah. And there's a lot of speculation this year that a bunch of people thought they might have had COVID coming out of SHOT and never even known it, because the day before SHOT Show is a supplier showcase. And so that's when all these suppliers come in. And they come from everywhere,
all over the globe, right?
All over the world, because it's the whole hunting and outdoor community. Mm-hmm. So it's suppliers of everything from apparel and tree stands and everything, to small parts and doing parts for guns and stuff. So it's everybody's coming in for that supplier showcase, and you get a lot of people from China, and there's a big industry in Wuhan. So yeah,
I joked about it a little bit, but I'm like, when we were talking before we actually started this tonight, I think I had it at Pheasant Fest. I really do.
Whatever you had something. That's for
I had something, and so this is going to blow a lot of people's minds, but I probably don't have the best immune system because I'm never around people. Like I don't. Okay, so this is going to sound bad. I understand. I don't like kids at all. I don't like them. I don't like to be around them. I don't go to family functions with kids. I don't, I'm never around anything. So I'm never sick. Like I seriously, I don't think I've been to the doctor, and I haven't been sick in probably 5 years. And so I flew from Minneapolis to North Carolina, then got on another plane from North Carolina to another place in North Carolina. And 4 days later, I was sick. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was because the Project Upland guys made me drink too much on Thursday night. But hangovers don't last for 5 days. No, and like I had the cough, I had the fever, I had the body sweats. I was sick. That's why Bailey Peterson was making fun of me earlier. She's like, "You weren't even at Pheasant Fest." It's like I was there for an hour a day, and then I crawled back into my bed.
Think about it. You and I were in the same truck,
right?
Yeah.
For 3 days coming home,
right?
And if you had COVID,
right,
then I'm a damn superhero. Because it didn't,
or you're
humble brag for somebody needing a spare.
Non-symptomatic or whatever.
Yeah. I very well may be the epicenter for the COVID outbreak in Minnesota. I may have been responsible for the shutdown because I probably shook 1,000 hands at Pheasant Fest, and I didn't feel good at all.
Was that a humble brag?
There was a humble brag.
No, that was actually it should have been. You probably shook more hands than I did.
I don't know about that, man. Losing buds.
Oh, geez. It was Thursday night and I actually behaved myself at the film festival for the most part. When you guys decided we were going to start doing shots, it's like, nope, I'm out. I just left.
I don't remember much of that.
Where you were, and then you showed up one point on a Saturday. You're like,
I felt bad, man. I did not feel good.
I gotta go over to 283 booth for a while.
Yeah, I had to be there for an hour, and there for an hour.
And you wanted to be.
No,
I gotcha.
I kind of had to be. Otherwise, Nick would have made fun of me because he had to be there the hour after I was.
Yeah, we tagged in and out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're here. I'm gone. See ya.
Yeah. That was Zach and I were talking that Pheasant Fest. That was the last time I saw everybody on this stream here. I mean, that was the last big thing that I went to, really. I mean, and it feels like such a long time ago. It's just weird, really weird.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get the antibody test and just see if I did have it because I'm going over to Montana in about a month to go over and fair enough. Yeah, you talk about some germ soup in Chicago. I'm sure that was pretty gross.
Beef.
I'm going over to Montana to interview Benno Williams in person, and he's 90. I certainly don't want to get him sick, so I'm going to be pretty careful about that. So
yeah.
Yep, Mike, I think you're right. I think that the Miller Lite apparently and 12 to 15 cigars a day in the truck and a pack of cigarettes probably killed the COVID for sure. Nothing could live in there. I actually thought that it was Ron that made me sick. It's like, God, maybe it was just all the smoke.
A couple of weeks ago, we had some guests change up and everything, so I put that episode a week later with Colonel Patton.
Mm-hmm.
And right now he'd be 99. And when I was smoking, cigarettes and switching with full inhale and everything, I knew I couldn't keep doing that. That son of a gun grew up in Whitfield, Virginia. He started smoking cigarettes when he was 14 or 15.
Right.
Smoked when he was about 55. Then he smokes cigars, and he's 99 now.
Yeah.
He lives in a nursing home. And he smokes 4 or 5 Swisher Sweets, the big fat ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like going, how does that guy?
Good genetics.
Get by? I mean, I bet you he'd look at COVID and go he's like, yeah, fuck you, COVID.
Yeah. Well, it's like that 103-year-old woman that had it, and she recovered and just had a Bud Light in her bed.
Some normal guy just like.
Right. Yeah. There was a guy down. I talked to Odell here a couple weeks ago again, and he said there was a guy in their office. Jim Heffelfinger had it, showed 0 symptoms. But he went in, they had their whole office tested. He was the only one that actually tested positive for the antibodies. Really? Yep. So he had it. And then I've talked to other people, and they're like, it was like, I don't know anybody, thankfully, that's got it that's been real bad or they've had to be in the hospital. But a lot of people are like, it's just like having a really bad flu bronchitis thing for like, it seems like it lasts for about 5-6 days and then kind of start coming out of it. But
yeah. Yeah, unless you're somebody who's really susceptible. So
right. Boy, this has been the weirdest end to Hunter's Happy Hour ever. We're talking about diet.
Depressing. So
we gotta get back into the hunting season coming up. Okay, let's go. Back. Let's go across the top. We're gonna go Doug, Zach, Nick, Tyler, me. Doug, what's the first thing you're gonna do for hunting season? What's your first thing you're hitting for?
Early goose season.
Early goose. Okay.
Yep.
Zach,
sage grouse in Wyoming.
Nice.
Okay.
Solid.
Nick, what are you doing?
Mine's gonna be. I don't have the exact dates of when I'm gonna head west to North Dakota, so it's either gonna be rough grouse opener here in Minnesota or my season. We have kind of a late rough grouse opener. I want to say it's like the 18th. So
that is late.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That could dictate that my first hunt might be out in North Dakota, which would be awesome. So
sure.
But wait, to go back, Minnesota rough grouse only opens in October.
No.
September 18th.
Okay.
September. It's September, and it's there's usually, I think the way Minnesota does it, there's usually like one weekend in between Labor Day. It's Labor Day weekend, then you have one weekend, and then the next one is
Labor Day is late this year. It's the 7th.
Right. And so that's why the Minnesota, whereas Michigan grouse is always September 15, right?
Yep.
No matter what. Yep. Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What's your first?
Well, my first isn't actually going to be hunting. It's going to be running dogs on Sharptails out here with you and Justin. And then we'll probably you guys are going to be up here kind of around the same time as Dove Opener, the 1st of September.
I might overlap that for sure.
Yeah. So like it's that September's going to be nuts. I'm doing that with you guys. Then Brent Kroll is coming up, and we're going to run over to Montana, go hunt blue grouse with that lady I just had on the podcast, Diane, here a couple days ago. And then I got to get back here for opening weekend with Brent Pike and those guys. And so September's going to be insane.
Yeah,
can't get here soon enough. I'm going crazy.
I'll be hitting I'll be at your place end of August, running with dogs. Not gun season.
Right.
And I'm like, do I drive 2,000 miles back to Virginia for the opener, or like?
Nah, come over here. Yeah,
I could go there 2 weeks later on John's Fields.
It's gonna be the same.
And what I want to do with Taffy, I was just talking to Jordan Horick, and like she's not going to be ready for the Dove opener.
Right.
That's not a good idea. But
it's a horrible idea.
Access to John's Fields,
right, where you can go out there by yourself
and then have some control over.
Yeah.
I'll go with her. And I'm fine not bringing a gun as long as somebody can do the shooting.
Right.
I can work with her because Jordan's put a lot of work in that little hellion, and I don't want to like totally unravel it completely. So it'll. So when I go to your place, I probably won't even bring Taffy. She'll stay home.
Really?
Well, because it's
the preseason one you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you want to take her and run her out on some wild birds?
Yeah.
There's not going to be any shots. I mean, it's
I mean, that's like the perfect controlled. You get it. You work on her quartering. You work on her draw, and get that all.
Yeah, you're right. I'll probably consult Justin on it. You know what I mean? I'll say, okay, if you think there's a good day, afternoon, couple days that, you know, I'm kind of like, oh God, I finally got this dog. You know, he's got her to the point where she's going to stop on a fly of a bird. The bird's going to get up, she's going to sit. And
see, sharptails are the perfect bird to work with that though, because of those staggered flushes. So you find a covey or a flock of young sharptails, and one goes and she sits, and then she realizes that there's more bird. Like that's going to be really nice work for her. Plus,
she's going to get a lot of birds that aren't shot. I know that.
Right.
You know,
it's okay.
It's going to be up to me to.
I started getting more and more excited for that season every year. I actually, and this is probably going to be
last year.
Yeah, it's going to be an unpopular thing, but I'm actually going to be writing a letter to the North Dakota Game and Fish recommending that they move the date back. July 15th is too early. I think it should be August 1st. I never go out in the fields before August 1st, just because you can find birds that can barely fly July 15th.
Shoot, it happens during hunting season sometimes. I don't know about out there, but
it sure can here too. And I mean, and the rules that we run by out here, like when Justin's out here and when I'm doing it with Nate or whatever, we're using it as a scouting trip as well as a tune-up for the dogs. But as soon as we find young birds, we're out of that field. We don't go, because they will scatter and it's bad. I mean, you can literally So July 15th is just too early. So I always push mine back to at least August 1st, if not a little bit later. But gosh, it's just so much fun. There's no, there's no distractions. You don't have to worry about shooting birds. You get to wear a GoPro. You get to take phone videos of your dogs on point. You get to take pictures, and it's just like it's the first opening day as far as I'm concerned. I look forward to that just as much as I do the opener of Sharptail season.
I love it for all the same reasons. It's like, I mean, it's all for the dogs, like
right. Nick, I got a spot. You're gonna like. You're really gonna like it a lot. You need to bring those. You need to bring those walking boots.
A sleeping bag tonight.
You need to bring those walking boots though, because it's gonna be a big one.
I'm game.
Like we're gonna run with Hartley and Rusty, and it's gonna be an all day deal. It's gonna be probably about a 10-mile circuit.
I'm in, man. I my mind has been drifting towards North Dakota Sharptails a ton lately.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can't wait.
You see this one here? Nick and Ron, have you had any issues with your dog not wanting to pick up woodcock?
Oh, I got a setter, so isn't my opinion irrelevant?
I have. This is the weirdest thing. I've had short hairs, I've had wire hairs, I've got Broncos. I have never had a dog that wouldn't pick up a woodcock, but I've had everybody I know has had dogs that don't want to pick up a woodcock.
Right, I've heard that a lot.
Never had that problem.
I don't know if this is is it just a dog? I'm guessing it's got to be just a dog. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't shot enough woodcock to know, but
drinking.
Do they have loose feathers?
They have. I think they have kind of loose, and they're real fuzzy feathers. They're the kind of feathers that stick in the dog's mouth. I mean, I don't know. My dog hardly picked them up.
Not loose feathers like a dove.
See, I've had dogs that don't like to pick up doves because
the feathers just come off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen the feathers come off of a woodcock.
Yeah, I don't think a woodcock's it's not overtly bad or anything like that.
Different smell. It's a very oilier. It's a much oilier bird.
I was gonna say, I think it's more the oily, the taste in their mouth. But honestly, if you force fetch the dog's gonna do what it's told. I've never had a lab not pick up.
But okay,
it's just never been an issue.
Going from top to bottom earlier, obviously your dogs are force fetched. Zach, you force fetch your dogs?
No, I've never hunted them on woodcock. So
Nick,
I'm a bad one.
Mine's not. No, he's not. He's not a retriever. He does not force fetch. He will pick up birds though.
Right?
Does he pick them up and bring them back to you?
No, he doesn't bring them back. He hunts dead. He hunts dead. Finds them. He'll pick them up. Stand there. He doesn't bring them back to me.
So what would be the reason that you wouldn't want to force fetch your setter? if it doesn't.
I'm just a bad trainer and I'm lazy. That's the only. It's not like I haven't made a conscious decision to not force fetch Hartley. I just haven't done it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've never done it with any of my dogs, and I've ran the gamut. I mean, everybody knows the trials and tribulations of Rusty. I mean, he didn't pick up a bird till he was 3, but he always hunted dead really well, and he would stand, like he'd find the bird for me. And then all of a sudden, one day he's like, "Well, okay, fine, I'll do this because I'm not letting those damn Germans get all my birds." And now he will literally race for a retrieve. I've never had any problems with it.
My buddy Bill Walters, my old buddy, he's good 10 years older than me. He picked up a rescue griffin, I don't know, 10 years ago. He's gone now. And that dog didn't retrieve. It would stand there by the bird, like.
I'm okay with that.
With hunting with other dogs, and Bill does a lot of preserve hunting, and I'd go with him. We have fun, and the same thing. A couple of years of that, and all of a sudden, this dog said, like, "Hey, I want it,"
Yeah.
And so you can't call it a natural retriever, but you can say, yeah, sometimes they just get a little bit older, and they're just like, yeah.
If I hunted more waterfowl, I would have probably done it. I think that's kind of the difference. Is that, Doug, you hunt a lot of ducks, and I mean, first of all, I've never met a lab that doesn't retrieve. It's it's on the list of. I remember I listened to one of Ron's podcasts, and he said he's like, it's kind of like the cherry on top of the whole sequence. Dog finds a bird, stands on point, bird flushes, you shoot the bird, dog goes, picks up the bird, brings it back to you.
Yeah.
That's great. And if they do it naturally, I'm fine with that. But I always have, like, nowadays I have enough dogs where, like, Bo's a fantastic retriever. He will retrieve anything. Yeah. Rusty he'll do it wouldn't be a 4 duck search, but he'll do a pretty solid duck search, and he'll retrieve. I mean, I had him in frozen slough last year retrieving diver ducks out of the water, and he would stay out there until he got it. He'd stay right on top of it. And so he does a fine job. CJ's kind of 50-50. She's 2 years old now, 2.5 years old, and she'll always find it.
50-50, she's probably going to get better.
I think so. And the funny thing is that I can throw a bumper until my arm falls off, and that dog will race as hard as she possibly can, and she hates it when the boys get a retrieve.
Yeah.
When we go to the water, she knows she can't swim as fast as Rusty and Bo. And like if she's out by herself, I can throw bumpers and she'll go swimming and retrieve all day long. But as soon as the boys get out, she'll stand there on shore and wait till they get close enough, and then she'll jump and try to take the bumper away from them. But
just like my first wife.
Okay, I'm not sure where that story goes, but I'm interested.
Zach, let's see Fosak.
Yeah. She's wonderful. She retrieves the hand, and I've got her where half the time she'll sit there and hold it for me. Yeah. I don't quite have it down, but she's been a very natural retrieve.
Yeah. When you get that natural retriever, it's like it takes the load off you.
It does, yeah.
It's just like, oh,
yeah.
Perfect. I think Tyler's had too many humble brags today, so I'm gonna do a little humble brag. With that little girl, I took her out. It was the last day of our doe season, and I'd already tagged out. And so I took her out and hit a piece of CRP that a friend of mine's family's had for 90 years. And I shot 3 roosters over her with 3 shots, and one of them was a double. She retrieved them all to hand in 5-foot tall CRP. Nice. And this is the most I'd ever asked of that dog. Like, she'd had light, like she'd been used sparingly through the season because she'd kind of been under the weather. And so this was like the biggest demand I'd put on her, and she did incredibly well. Wow. And I've got all of her retrieves on video. So it was
that's awesome.
Just really good. So she's come a long way. So.
Brock, I asked how Cooter's coming along, and that name's apparently going to stick forever. But I had her retrieving out of the water yesterday too. She's 13 weeks old and swims like a fish.
That's fantastic.
In fact, when I got her and her sister here still until Bruce comes up in October, and you guys, I mean, some of you have been here, Nick and Ron. I'm the only house on this road. I don't have any my closest neighbors are a mile away, and the road that I live on doesn't have a ton of traffic. So the only rules that I really imply on them is you cannot run towards the road. Any place else, you can go south. Like, you're fine. I don't care. But so if I'm sitting outside on the deck, like I have been the last couple nights when we've been getting done fishing and having a couple of beers, If I don't want to have to watch them anymore, I just give them a bumper, and they literally just carry it around the yard for like an hour. That's all they want to do. They will literally just go and lay down and play with the bumper.
Yeah.
You left the tails on those dogs, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
They look just like English pointers. Exactly like English pointers. I think that's how they made them. I really think that's how. Like, I know English pointers are an older breed, but man,
I told you the other day. I won't go into details, but so 2 of your pups are here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I was there's a gal that comes in. I think it's Katie. She got a large Munsterlander, and Gary and the other guy, they have the pup. And somebody says, "Oh, are those large Munsterlanders?" And the girl with the large Munsterlander says, "No, those aren't large Munsterlanders."
Right. Yeah.
But they're so young and so small, and they're dark and they're white,
Yep.
And,
and if any of you guys didn't see the Instagram video that I put up of the first time that they ever smelt quail, pretty fun little video to watch. It's a good one.
We showed that here, I think, didn't we? Or we off
I think we did.
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember, but it was they're going to be good. They're going to be good dogs.
I guess with that, you guys, we've just hit the 2 hour mark, so I think
we hit her, and we're on Tuesday nights now, so maybe we should keep it honest.
Keep us honest, and some of us got to work in the morning.
Doug, you want to throw that throw that link in there one more time for anybody that's hanging with us? And
we really should end before Ron comes back, because that'd be funny.
Right.
So go to projectupland.com and fill out that survey. You're helping CZ do market research, and you're telling them what you want to see in future guns and stuff. And obviously, we hope people have fun with this. What the ultimate guns are going to look like when they come out, nobody knows, but I'm excited to see what they look like. But go and have fun with it and design your upland gun.
And then once you get done with it, come back and drop a comment and just put that you got it completed. So we can see how many of you guys have gone in and participated. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already doing it. And we will see you all next week.
No, is it next week? Next 1 week?
Are we
Tuesday.
doing every week, every other week?
I don't have anything to do. Tuesdays are a fun day for me.
We'll let you know.
Yeah,
I never work Wednesdays. This works so much better than Fridays.
I kind of like it. This is a good start to the week.
This is a lot better.
Let us know if you guys like Tuesday nights.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
It's like the bar with Tuesday night drafts.
Cheers, guys.